Hello, this is Reverend Joseph Andrew Jensen Sr. Okay, this is a very important message. Uh, it's going to be given to Elon Musk personally, get to him and him alone after I finish it. And it, but it will make its way to the public as well. All depending on what happens next week. I'm not here to try to threaten Elon, but things are going on right now that this world needs to know. Yeah, 2 days ago, I found out Elon's has a stressful time. He's hemorrhaging $2 billion every day. He just came back from space last week. He went to space last week. He's hemorrhaging $2 billion every day by SpaceX. It cost him a lot to keep that going. He has shareholders and all kinds of people in that with him. We are so close. Elon, you're right at the verge of having all the money in the world to afford to do every dream you ever had, to keep SpaceX going, regardless of anybody paying you, supporting you or not. But your true supporters have been with you and invested in you because they believe in you. But you guys got to understand what you believe in. SpaceX wants to go to Mars, to colonize Mars. They want to go there for a lot of reasons. They discover there's new minerals, new metals, things that we could use on Mars to explore a planet thoroughly, to take the time to explore and find that the assets are in another place like Mars, in other planets. Space travel. You've already broken every record, even his own record. He built the electric car. His electric car can outrun cars with 4,000 horsepower from 0 to 60. His cars, he's built 1,000 power electric car that goes 500 horsepower. In 2.7 seconds, it goes from 0 to 60. Unheard of. There's no dragster or anything could run that fast. And yet he's just made that obsolete because now he's attached like a jet engine to an electric engine. Meaning it's like it still can't go it go faster. It's got a lot more horsepower. He just boosted the horsepower 100 times up. So he made the electric vehicle that's already going faster than anything else is now 100 times more powerful. By adding the jet engine, well, I don't know, the numbers are way off. Maybe there's only 10 times, but what the dickens? You already had a vehicle that was going faster than anything else, and now you made it even faster, and that's going to be obsolete. Do you realize how many things in this world have gone obsolete from the telegraph? The Pony Express didn't last hardly anything time before the phone lines went up. When Alexander Graham Bell created the telephone, that just put the telegraph basically out of business. Unless you want to figure out about during the war when they went to the Enigma machines and things to get them through the war, when it was using a kind of a telegraph. But this doesn't count. Things have gone out of style. Horses went out of style. Nobody had to ride horses when the automobile was there. Now we got into a place where what's going to happen with oil? Oil's going to sit there in the ground. Because now you're running cars off electricity, off the sun. All kinds of free ways of getting electricity by hydro, by wind, whichever ways, but the sun is the easiest. But here we've gone so advanced, but now even the space program, it's got a rocket capable of going to Mars, but there's not a way to fuel it. Because or the metal to contain the heat shield of what these things will produce. They had to find the metals. There's so many things that we have that even when you do invent it, they'll be obsolete. Why? Because I represent God. What's God doing? You already know about God's coin. You know it's coming out. You can't stop it. You don't do it, they'll do it. But here's what's going to happen. If you would trust God, I know you can't because you got shareholders, stockholders, all kinds of people that are controlling you. You can't do what you want. You promised next year you could. You even told me you could I would go to space with you. I believe in you. Yet today, it was my son said, "Daddy, don't do this. I have to give my paycheck, my whole paycheck. Well, I get $1,546 on payday. That's my Social Security direct deposit. I have to pay the embassy $1,987 for my plane ticket from the embassy to get from Jerusalem to here, like yesterday. They're going to take it anyway. They're going to take my whole paycheck anyway. They have the power over all government, as the embassy is like, wow, you don't mess with the embassy. It's like the cabinet, the president's cabinet. They have the power to just seize every asset I have. Well, they're going to get their $1,987 either way. But I'm going to give Elon Musk, you're getting this first. $1,500. You're not going to actually get it. You're going to get it to FedEx through an Apple gift card. And that Apple gift card, FedEx accepts it, is going to see to it I get a package that was held up in customs. I'm saying that when FedEx promises to ship this thing, it'll be like 24 to 48 hours delivery. I am putting it in there. On the 18th, I get paid at 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's go to the thing. Elon, I'm talking to you, so let's put it, I'll talk to you. I've given you, on Monday morning, my son's off work, Sunday and Monday. But on Monday morning, the bank will be, my bank will be open. My bank is Bank of America in Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is almost 40 miles away from me. Takes a while to get there. When I do get there, my son takes me there. It's to sign a form for them to immediately transfer $1,500 to my Citizens Bank in Pamplico and Lake City, South Carolina. They're very close to me, and they do personal services. They used to get my my Social Security checks, direct deposit, and then I had them switched to Bank of America. I maybe shouldn't have done that because Bank of America has put so many holes on my card, even when I was overseas, because they didn't recognize charges and they just stopped my card. Suspicious fraud. They didn't know what was going on because I was going overseas and I spending money in places that they didn't understand. And how can you explain that over the weekend when you're in another country, or that day when you can't get hold of a bank because the bank won't even talk to you because you got to show them by callbacks and everything else, whatever they call it, two-party factor, who you are. I had to prove who I am. When I'm holding a phone with fingerprint identification, voice identification, face recognition, and hand geometry, or it could ask me any question: who's my mother? Who's my father? Who's my first pet? You know, all kinds of questions they could ask me, personal questions, but no, they had to put a thing where you had to have two devices. Phones don't work in America, overseas that work in America. Not, you can't even get Medicare overseas if you're not in Mexico or Canada. But now here, I'm dealing with there. I'm turning over $1,500 to you in three $500 Apple gift cards. Now, everybody in the world has told me, and you know this, that you're a scam. It's a scam. Walmart wouldn't sell me cards because they said it was a scam. I went to the congressman's office about it and asked them about it. You know, why would customs have anything to do with the U.S. dollar being in FedEx, not coming to my house? How did they get involved in this? Interpol and customs. How did it even go from North Carolina to customs by Interpol? Didn't cross a border. It didn't cross a Canadian border, and it certainly didn't come from France. That's where Interpol's headquarters is. But it seems Interpol happens to be like 126 nations. They can do it in any country. There's 195 nations in the world, and the 126 belong to Interpol. Like the police, and whatever they claim this U.S. dollars, I had to pay $2,000 to get it out. Whatever that deal is, you know what it is, Elon. I'm only saying this much because the world's going to hear this. They're going to hear it even before and after. They need to hear this whole story. Now on the 18th, the Joey's going to make this thing where the bank gets my $1,500 from the one bank that can't stop it when it gets to the other bank, because the other bank has a local thing, and they don't have the fraud, the kind of fraud that they can stop. They're prepared for the $1,500. They're not going to ask a question, and I'll be able to get it out. And when I get the $1,500, I will sneakily have to go to Target, someplace like that, not tell them what I'm going to use it for, because they wouldn't sell it. If it was Walmart, they wouldn't sell me the $500 cards. They would stop me, and they would advise everybody to start a fraud alert. But I will go to Dollar General or Target, and I'll buy 3 Apple gift cards and put $500 on each. My whole paycheck, everything I got, all except for maybe there might be $30 left out of this whole deal, out of my paycheck. Now, when I get that to them, when I get that money to them, my money should be with me in 24 hours or 48 hours at the latest. When it gets to my door, I will have this same phone out and film him in the driveway and film him coming to the door. And then I was film that box. The top, the bottom, all the sides, and on top, the address, a very good shot of the top with my picture on it, my address and everything. And then I will watch. I'll keep my phone's camera on it. But this video, it has one video, and it'll picture me unwrapping it, cutting the top off, tearing it open from the top, and then pouring it out on the floor. And when it's going to pour it out on the floor, it should be $100,000 in bundled up bills. The papers I need to sign for everything should be my ID card for Elon Musk membership, fan club membership with my picture on it, and a iPhone 16 Pro, maybe. I don't know, but it was a pretty nice looking phone. I only glanced at the phone. He was able to glance at the phone that was packed. I watched Elon pack the box. I watched it go to the box go to FedEx. I watched it go from FedEx to a truck. Then I watched the truck get seized by Interpol, by state police in North Carolina. And what the state police in North Carolina, I guess it had something to do with Interpol. People were there too. Seized the box in North Carolina, Western North Carolina. I live in South Carolina. Should have been able to get to me right then. But now they're going to hold me up for $2,000 more. And I only make $1,500 a month. And this is the next month. I've been called a dozen times for the money earlier. But I'm on a pension. I only get it once a month. The third Wednesday of every month. Now this is it. I put everything in there. I am God's minister. I've been going for all year long for God to other countries, to other places, everything without question. I don't hesitate. I go. I go regardless of anything. I go and been going. And this is only a test to see whether I'm all in with God. God's tested me. He's also testing this world. What I've done this year, went to Africa, been to Cairo twice, been to Jordan twice, been to Palestine, ended up in Israel. In Israel, I was in a hospital, there to die. The embassy got me home. I told them to arrest me as a treasonist. I'm against the United States and Israel. I come to stop the war. I told that to Israel too. Arrest me. I'm here to end the war. They don't do that. They're not going to do that. They didn't commit me. They said they were going to commit me. They wouldn't commit me. They said they don't do that either. I said, well, I'm not going nowhere. He says, I'm not going to eat. I haven't eaten. I hadn't eaten in 28 days already. And I'm not going to let nobody feed me. They said, well, if you don't eat, you're going to die. Now you're catching on. I come here to die, to make my point. I'll turn myself into the embassy as a treasonist because you're killing. What religion has the right to kill? Tell me, understand what part of the Ten Commandments has not been understood. They killed. in the name of God. And God's message is God lives in you. He lives in everybody. So naturally, if you kill somebody, guess who are you killing? You're killing God. You're also killing everybody in somebody's DNA. You're also killing all the unborn in that person. So God's going to kill everybody in their DNA. God's going to kill all the unborn. And he's going to kill you. What kind of God would do that? The God that the world describes in the Bible, in the Torah, in the Quran. These were man-made written books. They're not God's words. They're the words of man, as man's doing his will. They were murderers that wrote the books as they went, that made themselves look like heroes. I got a case. I got a case against every religion. We're at war with God. To the Muslims and to Islam, I'm Wasir, Reush, Rasul, Allah. Rasul means messenger. Like an apostle, a high messenger to Allah or God. I'm God's messenger. I don't have a religion. I'm against every religion, just like God's against every religion. Why is God against every? Because they're hypocrites. Because they don't even know where God lives. They don't even, because if they did, they wouldn't be killing God. Every time they kill a person or watch a person killed, they're actually killing God. Who think He gives you the power to think, breathe, everything? In your DNA is not your family. If you want to know, see your deceased mother, your grandparents, anybody, where are they at? They're in your DNA. Do you go to heaven to see your mother? Do you go to heaven to see your deceased family? No, you go to where your family is, in your DNA. They live in you. You live in them all the way to your ancestors, all the way through your ancestors, in their bloodline. I got a case, and Elon, this is to you again. I'm giving you the $1,500, and I'm calling the world out. This point, and you out. This is not going to go public until after we have the results. When I pull the top off that box and I pour it out, they're going to see the contents of that, and then I'm going to photograph the empty box, and I'm going to organize everything there is. The cash, $100,000 cash, the papers, the membership card, and the phone. And then I'm going to turn that phone, the camera off on this phone. And I'm going to call you, Elon, after I go get the 3 gift cards. And I'm going to take pictures of them. I'm going to take pictures of each of those cards, and I'm going to, with you watching. Each one separately, front and back, like we've already done with other cards that got to you or got to FedEx. And I'm going to take those photographs, and we're going to settle this deal. And when that box actually gets to my house 48 hours later, I'm going to open that box, like I said, and they're going to see it all. Then I said, I'm going to turn it off, but I'm going to call you right back. And I say, how much do you want for the Tesla card? How much do you want to ship my Tesla car here to me? And how much anything else? Because I got $100,000 then. I reach in there, I'm thinking it's be $30,000. I get $30,000 out of 70. And I get it out to pay for anything else. Now, this is what's going to happen. And I'm going to, but like I said, this whole video, this is part of the first video that's going to happen when I get that box. And if I don't get that box, guess what? The world sees this one. You see what I'm saying? It's to you. I'm not going to put it out to the world until I get the box. But then it's going to prove to Walmarts, to the congressman, to every person in the world what you've told me. You don't use Facebook at all. You don't use Instagram at all. You don't use Telegraph at all. If they're on Facebook, all those things are put on Facebook. They're frauds because you don't use Facebook, or you don't even look at Facebook at all. Yes, everybody can hear me now say that. If they're going to talk to you, they're going to talk to you on WhatsApp or Generation X. Only two ways of communication with you. And you know I won't talk to Meta Al. I don't talk to Meta Al. I talk to you, Elon. And I talk to you up front, and I always have. Now, does anybody believe that I talk to you? Nobody. Does anybody believe I talk to God? Nobody. But we're going to find out. And you're going to find out too. Because you're being stressed because of SpaceX. And I'm going to say, we're going to settle this, Elon. You're going to have to trust me, trust God. And I'm going to tell you, after the first year, to give me control of your assets, of your worth, and trust me. Just give me the trust that you'll transfer what I tell you, and when to tell thing, you'll be ready to transfer those assets immediately where I tell you to go. Just the first place you're going to be asked to put it is $12 million. $12 million in Burundi. You're going to have to make $12 million available to Burundi. Because there's 12 million Burundians. If there's 15 million, I'll take 15 million, and you'll make 15 million available to Burundi. I will, at that point, make every Burundian franc, because there's 5,000 Burundian francs to the dollar. I will immediately, first thing I'll do is I'll have the whole world's highlighted red on a graph. And that's when it's going to turn lime green, bright green in highlight. And then I'm going to say, and you're going to announce to Burundi only. Go open everybody in Burundi, go open a God's Coin account. And I'm going to make it's going to be 5,000 God's coins times 75,000. $75,000 per God's coin times 5,000. So you're going to say I'm going to make $1 available, or $75,000 available to every household. $75,000, which is the equivalent to 75,000 times 5,000, because the God's coin will be equal to a Burundian franc. To them, they'll be set for life. Like I said, it's turning green, really green. They're already green. They're in the jungle, right? It's already green, very green, but it's going to be bright green. Like very bright green, fluorescent green, for the world to see the difference it can happen in one split second. Boom. How many people are going to get to a bank to open a God's Coin account? 15 million, 12 million, whatever amount there is. It'll happen like a fire. You just set fire to a whole country, Burundi. You know who's going to be watching? The world's going to be watching that. I'm going to have it on Facebook, but everybody's going to see that then. A whole country just went from being the poorest country in the world to the richest country in the world. Who was me watching? Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi just retired with 1,000 Bitcoin. Now he's got like 1,500 Bitcoin. But their Bitcoin are worth less than 75,000. They're worth but like six, even right at 70,000. But even if they're worth only 70,000, I'm offering Satoshi 2 God's coin for 1 Bitcoin, doubling his money and more. This is what I'm going to do. And Satoshi will take it. He'd be a fool not to. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop this now for you, Elon, because that's where I'm going to stop. But this is what's going to happen. How fast? With your money, $12 million. I'm turning it into $12 million. 5 times 5,000, because there's 5,000 Burundian francs to the dollar. Times 75,000, because that's how much each God's coin's worth. Figure it out. Good night.